What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Steven Worldwide. I'm Steven. If this is your first time, these are my travel blogs. I live overseas as an English teacher. I've been blogging about my life as a teacher and living overseas since 2010, about 15 years. And I got married last year in August, and I'm doing this honeymoon worldwide trip with my wife and making video updates about what we're up to here. And it's been a while, so it's time for an update. You can see behind me, I'm in this old style room. This house that we're in, this is an Airbnb that we're staying in for this leg of the trip. You can see it's kind of a classic room. This house was built in 1880. So a long time ago, this house was built and it's been refurbished, but it still has its old school charm. It's an Airbnb hotel inn now. You can see it has this old radiator over here that works. The room is really toasty right now. We're in winter time. It's freezing cold outside. It's what's the date? It's around February 22nd, but it does have this very familiar air conditioner. We have this kind of air conditioner unit in Japan. So my wife was happy to see that the remote works. There's heat coming out of there. There's heat coming out of there. So we are not at all cold in this room. The lighting's not that great, but who cares? My wife is busy. She's not here. She's in the next room. She's doing remote work. Maybe you guys are wondering, when are we going to see her in a video? She doesn't really care to be in any of these update video blogs, but maybe she'll end up in one of these days on the trip. All right, I'll bring you up to speed real quick of what we've been doing in the past few months. As I said, we got married in August in Tokyo. Then we started traveling. We went to Bali, and then we went to Australia, Brisbane. We went to Sydney. We went to Auckland, New Zealand, and then we went to Queenstown. And then we finished in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And then we went back to Japan. I'll put some pictures in this video. I'll actually edit this video on my tablet, which I brought. I'll edit this video and I'll put some pictures in there so you can kind of get a flavor of some of the things that we saw on the trip. Then we were in Japan for about 3 or 4 weeks in late November and early December, where we moved out of our apartments, we quit our jobs, and we were totally just going to have life on the road, living as backpackers. We left a lot of our stuff in Tokyo because we would not be returning. We won't be returning until June. We're going to be totally on the road. The first leg of the trip was Florida, the USA. We went to Florida to see most of my family's down there and my friends. I used to live in Florida for about 10 years in the early 2000s through 2008. Sometimes we had a nice time, and we had an American wedding for my American friends and family because nobody came to Tokyo. I didn't invite anybody to come to Tokyo. I just told them to just relax, save your money, and come to the one in Florida. And that was great. And I did an update at that time. You can go back in the channel. You can see any of the little updates I did up until this video. We said goodbye to everybody in Florida, and then we went up to New Jersey, New York area where we are right now. I only have an aunt and uncle left in New Jersey where I grew up here, but I have a lot of friends from home that are in the area. Told everybody I'm coming up, and now we're spending each day trying to visit other people and just to see some places, some sites of interest. I wanted to show my wife where I grew up and the houses I lived in and things like that. So we got here February 18th. It's February 22nd right now, and we got nailed with snow. We got bombed. I mean, it's so much snow over the past 24 hours. It was a blizzard, and they had a curfew. They didn't have anybody. You weren't allowed to be driving. It was just that bad. Let me show you outside. Let's take a look out here. When I say we got nailed, we got nailed. Look at this. It's not snowing anymore. That's just the snow dropping from the roof. But look at this house outside. Those trees were shaking. It was very windy too. It was blizzard conditions. Look at that table, the neighbor out there. You could see their table and chairs. It's like 1.5 feet, maybe even 2 feet of snow. It's like 16 or 18 inches. Maybe more. I don't think it's any less. See all the snow on the windowsill there? I mean, it is a winter wonderland. We didn't expect to see this on our trip. And to be honest, it's not really good because it's taking 2 days away of our plans. We were going to walk around in Manhattan, walking and shopping in Manhattan. That's not going to happen now. So we lost 2 days. We still want to go to Manhattan, walk around maybe tomorrow because we don't have to drive. We have a rental car, but we're not going to drive into Manhattan. It's just too crazy now with the snow, with the parking and traffic. We're going to take the train in because we're staying in a town called Summit, New Jersey, which is close to my hometown. It's actually the next town over. It's really a pretty historic area of North New Jersey. It's really beautiful. We're right by the downtown too. So far, we were able to see an aunt and an uncle of mine, some of my college friends, a couple friends from my hometown. There's a few more friends that I haven't seen yet, and hopefully we'll be able to see them. It's hard to reach people a lot of times. With all the technology, you think it would be easy, but there's so many different apps to contact people. The phone number, my phone doesn't have a phone number, and in America, people use their phone numbers to message each other. They don't use all the messaging apps. A lot of people don't use the Facebook Messenger, which I think is the easiest, most universal app for people to use if you don't have a phone number. Just people aren't into that, and I am. I have almost every chatting app you can think of because I have friends from all over the world in different countries, and they use different apps. One country uses Line, one country uses Kakao Talk, another country uses Viber, another country uses WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. Skype isn't a thing anymore, but I have all of them. LinkedIn, Messenger, but just not everybody's like me, and it's hard to get in touch with people. But we will be here until March 2nd. March 2nd, we're flying out. The next destination is an African safari. We're going to Tanzania for a safari. We'll be there for about a week, and that's really exciting. I haven't done anything like that before. Of course, I'm going to make a video update about that. Florida was cool. 2.5 months in Florida. Enjoyed Christmas with my family. My family lives in a gated community in Florida, Southwest Florida, and they have a lot of activities. So we went to a New Year's party, which was really nice, and some other events that they had. And it was nice to spend time with my mother. My father's not around, but my mother remarried. And it was nice to spend time with my stepdad. Now, I had a lot of stuff stored from when I became an English teacher way back in 2010. In 2009, I started this YouTube channel. I started making updates because I knew that I would be an English teacher in Korea. Didn't know that I would be there for such a long time. Didn't know I would still be teaching. I just thought it would be a one-year thing, and I started to make video updates for my friends and for my family. And I stored all my stuff in a few places. I have a younger sister with a house that kept a lot of my stuff. And then my mother had some stuff. And then I have an older brother that kept some stuff. And on this trip, they all said to me, like, when can I get my closet back? When can you move your stuff somewhere else? So it was time to get a storage unit. So that's what I did. I got a storage unit near where my family lives and put all my stuff. And I have an amazing collection. I have a comic book collection that I've been building since I was a little kid. And of course, you guys know that I have a perfume collection. If you've been watching my Ode to Treasure perfume channel, link in the description, I talk about my hobby of collecting discontinued rare and vintage perfumes in Japan. So I have these two huge collections. My family won't have it anymore. I have to pay for storage. And it was cool. Now I feel okay with it. I have to pay a little bit of money for storage until the day comes where I move back to USA and I can put all that stuff online and sell some of it. And speaking of which, I did sell a lot of my stuff. Not a whole lot of my stuff. I sold about 15 bottles of cologne on eBay and on Mercari just to get some extra cash that we need for this trip, because this costs a lot of money. We quit our jobs. We have to be frugal with our money. We can't be having fancy dinners every night. The money hopefully won't run out, but we're just not sure. We're being as careful as we can. So every dollar counts. We did a 1.5 week Vegas trip. We went out to Las Vegas. I did a little update about that. It was nice. We were walking around the strip, checking out Vegas because I have never been there before, and it was exciting for me. We didn't gamble that much. We didn't want to lose a lot of money, but I do like gambling. I love blackjack. I love playing roulette. It's a lot of fun. So we had a budget and I stuck to it. I lost $50 playing blackjack at like 15 hands, and I won like 2 of them, 2 or 3 of them. The dealer won like 12. So I got the worst cards, the shittiest cards. But then I wanted to do a sports bet because I've never done that, where you put your money down, you get your ticket. Everyone's hollering, hooting and hollering, watching the game. And then at the end, if you win, you cash in your ticket. My ticket came in. I made 2 picks together to win a bigger pot. I think I spent $50 and I won 130, something like that. So that was fantastic. So we left Vegas a winner just by a little bit. like $30 up we left, but that was fine. We spent that on souvenirs and chocolates for the family. We also drove around the sights of Las Vegas, which was awesome. So we went to a place called the Valley of Fire, and I've been out west before. I've been to San Francisco, but I had never seen any of the nature that is in Nevada, southern Nevada or Arizona. So that was awesome, seeing those red rock formations. Then we went to Sedona, which is another beautiful city or beautiful town that has, again, it has these red mountains, rock formations, and we saw sunsets and sunrises. And I'll never forget that because I've never seen anything that amazing. We went into Utah. We stayed in a place called St. George, and we visited the Brigham Young House. If you guys don't know who that is, he's famous for Mormon Christian religion. Cool. They settled in Utah and basically made Utah a somewhat of a Mormon area. We saw the Hoover Dam. That was really awesome. I'd never seen that before, obviously. We went to the Hoover Dam, and then we went to the Death Valley. Death Valley was also amazing. Just this expansive area where nothing's alive. That's why they call it Death Valley. You can't live there. It's the hottest place on Earth. It has temperatures that are over 100 degrees in the summer. When we were there, it wasn't that bad. It was actually cold. Everybody had jackets. There were a lot of tourists there. So it's really cold at night, and it's super hot during the day. And just seeing just a valley between two mountain ranges where there's nothing there, no trees, just little shrubbery. And animals can't live there. There are these tiny chipmunks. We saw a couple of them running around, and scorpions and ants, and that's about it. That's all that can live there. There are some animals that are like an elk, like a large deer, but we didn't see any of that. Just cactuses. It was cool to see cacti or cactus. The Grand Canyon, we saw just a tip of it. We saw the Horseshoe Canyon, if that's what it's called. It's a lake that goes around this formation. It's quite amazing. It was like millions and millions of years ago. It was underwater. It was an ocean. So imagine if like the ocean dried away and the ocean bottom that has been shaped by volcanic activity, and you just let it dry for millions of years of erosion and wind. And what would it look like if it was sandstone? It would be red. That's kind of what it looked like, that whole area out there in Arizona, outside of Nevada, Las Vegas. But the reason we didn't go further is because now they charge a lot of money. They charge a lot of money now to get into these national parks. For example, Zion National Park or the Grand Canyon or Yellowstone. It costs $35 for me to get in there, just to drive around these expansive roads and highways, just to go through there. But for foreigners in America, if you're not an American citizen, it's $100. So it's $135 for my wife to get in there. And we didn't want to spend close to $200 just to drive around. So we saw the tip of the Grand Canyon for free, and that was enough for us. And I guess that's just because of over-tourism. There were a lot of tourists driving around, and I guess, there's so many tourists, what can you do? You just raise the ticket prices. So it just discourages people from traveling around in there. After that, we went back to Vegas, and we spent another day on the Strip, enjoying the food. We saw a show in Vegas, which was awesome. We saw the Cirque du Soleil O, which was an amazing, I've never seen a theater performance where the acrobats, the actors are just doing amazing feats, swinging around the air, and then diving into a giant Olympic-sized pool, which was the stage. The stage was underwater, and it was incredible. I told you about gambling. We saw a Vegas Golden Knights game. So if you don't know, if you live outside of USA, if you live in USA, you might know that Las Vegas recently got some sports teams, finally. My whole life, there was never a professional sports team. Now they have an American football team, and they have an ice hockey team, which is already a champion. They won the Stanley Cup before, and they were good. This game, they won that game 7-2. They destroyed the other team. It was the Nashville Predators. So I just thought it would be a great experience to see a hockey game in Vegas, to gamble, to see a show. The buffet was awesome. We went to a place called The Wynn, and we spent $55, something like almost $60 on a gourmet buffet, and it was one of the best buffets I had ever been to. I filled myself so much. I ate so much. I ate like 6 plates over 2 hours. I just paced myself. We came in late lunch and early dinner where the food changed and we didn't have to pay any extra. And I ate so much that my stomach was so full. I was not hungry. I was not hungry until the next day, dinner. I still ate a little breakfast and lunch because my wife was eating it and I just thought it was time to put some food in my body, but I wasn't hungry. It was like 2 weeks my body didn't get hungry. I just ate because it was time. So I think I broke my stomach. I think I broke the thing. That was it for the Vegas trip. We went back to Florida and then we did a little trip to kind of say thank you to my mom and stepdad. We took them to Key West, Florida, which is the southernmost part of the continental USA. And we did some fun stuff overnight, just 2 days. We enjoyed Key West. We ate the famous key lime pie. We went to Ernest Hemingway's house. We went to the southernmost point of America, the marker, this giant buoy. But the weather was cold. There was a cold snap, this big storm that came through USA. So it was actually cold in Key West, which is rare. But it was a great trip. Tied up some loose ends, got my stuff all in storage, ready to sit there for at least a year. Who knows how many more years it'll sit there. Then came to New Jersey and New York. I'll talk more about this trip in another video. I just told you we got slammed by the snow, visited some friends, and that's it for now. Another week and we will be on the airplane to Africa. So I hope you like the update. Hope you like the photos that I stuck in this video. If you have any questions about the trip, you want to say hi, leave a comment down below. Subscribe to Steven Worldwide if you want to see more video updates about this. In the future, when we go back to Japan, I'll get back to content about living in Japan, living overseas, and teaching, because I have to get back to teaching. I have to find a new teaching job. And I've been stuck at the same company for 7 years in Japan. I haven't really talked about that experience, but I'm ready to talk about where I worked and what I did for that company, because I'm sure a lot of people and a lot of new teachers are curious about the opportunities that are out there for us teachers. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like button if you did like the video. Thanks a lot, friends and family, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.